When I first started this YouTube channel, it was to help people. And I sit here alone in my house wondering what I'm going to do myself. I don't want to come across on the internet as someone that I'm not, someone that has all the answers, because I don't even have the answers for myself. I simply just want to share the experiences that I lived through to you guys in hopes that one day when you come across this video, it can help you as well. Something that I've been really struggling with is the loneliness or the feeling of being alone in my life. It's really stemmed from my childhood. I've never really felt that I belonged in any sort of group. And even the people that accepted me still never made me feel like I was a part of their group. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me it's very hard to describe. You feel like you're a part of something, but you know you're actually not deep down. And oftentimes it's when you're by yourself do you only realize that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't struggle with loneliness or being the feeling of being alone myself. The fact of the matter is that I have many people in my life that I know truly do care for me, but it feels like some days I don't matter to them at all. That's a really strange feeling. Oftentimes, the most greatest victories in my life were not even shared with my own parents or even the closest friends of mine. In these moments of suffering or even of victory, I often find myself alone. And I've always wondered why. Now, I do struggle with loneliness a lot. Like, I'm not going to sit here and make up bullcrap to a camera just trying to be all macho man on the internet, because I'm not. I want to provide you with personal experiences in ways that I found that loneliness or the feeling of being alone is actually can be pretty powerful if you learn how to use it. Oftentimes when we find ourselves alone, maybe in a dark room late at night, just scrolling on TikTok or whatever, or even in a crowd of people, we tend to find the deepest, darkest insecurities about ourselves, things that we know we need to fix, our dreams, our aspirations, everything that we've oftentimes suppressed with being around other people, they come out. The real you starts to come out. You find out your tics, your antics, your tendencies, your habits, whatever it may be, what upsets you. It really could be anything. The ability to examine them and actively fix them is a great skill to have. And oftentimes, it really only takes 5 or 10 minutes to just sitting down and examining who you are and where you want to go and letting the thoughts of your own subconscious or your own deep conscious come out, embracing them for what they are and whatever emotions they may bring, and harnessing them to become a better person. Even today, I sat here alone in this house, me being as alone as I am in this period of life or this chapter of my life where I feel like there's no one around. It's allowed me to focus on myself and my goals and the things and the places that I want to do and where I want to go in life. This work, it allows me to be consumed in this work, in this business, in this channel, whatever it may be. And allowing yourself to embrace the loneliness or the period or chapter of solitude is oftentimes one of the most powerful things someone can do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to be amazing, because it's probably not. Even today, I was still struggling because this whole day I spent by myself. I felt like I had no one. Even when I was around with people out in public, I still felt incredibly alone. And that can be one of the most gut-wrenching feelings that anyone can ever feel. You feel like no one gets you, no one understands you, no one knows the struggles and the battles that you deal with on the day-to-day, and it's a quiet fight in your own mind just to survive to the next day. And that can be an overwhelming feeling for a lot of people. And that's okay. It's a normal part of life, but it's not normal to quit. Fighting back and choosing to make a concerted effort in the places, in the areas of your life that you know need work is oftentimes started by being alone. This chapter of solitude is not permanent. It comes in waves, and there's going to be many waves or chapters of solitude in your life. Accept them for what they are and keep going. For there is no greater battle than the battle with oneself and with one's mind. And something else that I really want to talk about is there's a quote from Robin Williams, and I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's basically along the lines of being alone or actually being alone is not the worst feeling in the world. Being around people who make you feel alone is. And this quote has really resonated with me because oftentimes I found friends within my high school life, my college life, whatever it may be. There's been people around me who I thought, I actually mattered to, and in reality, I didn't. And that feeling, that gut wrenching feeling that is to come when you go home after hanging out with your quote unquote friends, and you know that their time is coming and that y'all's chapter is coming to an end, that is oftentimes a lot worse feeling than actually being alone. Several times I've had to choose myself over someone that I saw a potential romantical partner with because I knew that they didn't actually care about me, even though I cared about them immensely. And that is a really, really hard feeling to accept. But choosing yourself and choosing to be alone and find peace in the solitude is oftentimes the way better alternative to being in a crowd but never actually being understood or heard by anyone. And that's a really tough choice to make, but the tough choices are sometimes the best ones. And if you ever want to grow in life, you're going to have to make a lot of tough choices, and that's just the reality of life. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, you're supposed to be alone. I'm not. It's oftentimes way better, obviously, to have many close friends and to have close relationships, but not everyone gets those opportunities. And oftentimes, some of the most successful people that I've found go through a chapter of loneliness where their life is directed to them towards their work and maybe towards their business or towards their career or towards even their own personal issues that they know they need to address. The universe says it's time for you to call it quits on everything else, all the other distractions, and focus on you for a little bit. And when you actually focus on you and make a concerted effort, oftentimes for not even that long, maybe a couple weeks to a couple months, even up to a year, you can see a tremendous change in that time. People often underestimate how quickly they can make change. They often think that you can do a lot in one day or 1 week, but they underestimate how much they can do in a year. Immense change can be done in a year. For example, I don't mean to brag, but I mean this as an example. I started off my gym journey and I couldn't even lift the bar in 25, which I don't even know what that is. I think that's 95 pounds. I couldn't even lift it for 3. I just hit a year in about 2 or 3 months, a couple weeks ago, and I also just PR'd with 315 for 1. The consistent effort that I made every single day, where I never missed a day for 7 days a week, I went every single day, regardless of what time it was, allowed me to be where I'm at right now. And the same analogy or metaphor that you take from that lesson in life can be applied to anything in life, from your business to your own personal issues to your career projects, whatever it may be. The same principle of consistency through solitude and actually focusing on the things that need to be done is one of the most powerful realizations and mindsets that you can adopt. Through this solitude, all the other distractions, all the other noises in life, they go away. And you're left alone with your thoughts in the dark, with no one else there to tell you what to do, with no one else there to tell you how to think. And when these thoughts come around, embrace them. Figure out what they actually mean for your life, and figure out ways that you can actually use them to better yourself. Because oftentimes these thoughts are not going to be positive. They're going to tell you how much you suck, how little you've accomplished, the things that you need to fix. They're going to point those out, and they're going to nag and make fun of you with them. They're going to antagonize you. The negative thoughts that are going to surround you when a period of solitude comes around is going to be overbearing at times. But the ability to recognize what these thoughts actually are and to use them to make positive changes in your life is a great skill to have, and I oftentimes struggle with that. It's hard to block out the negative thoughts of feeling that you're not enough or feeling that you're never going to get where you want to be in life. And that's normal. The doubt is normal. Oftentimes, some of the most successful people don't know where they are actually in life for many years, and they don't see the fruits of their labor for many years. And it's trust in the system and the consistency of work that you put into it that makes the success come true. But it often takes years or even months to see those fruits bear. So, whenever a chapter of solitude or the feeling of loneliness comes around, recognize it for what it is the chance to focus on yourself, analyze who you are as a being, as a human being, and make changes, positive changes to better your life, because simply 3 months alone where you're only focused on you and going where you want to be is oftentimes one of the most powerful chapters that anyone can go through. It's normal to suffer through a it's normal to suffer through a negative time. It's not supposed to be fun. But when you're trying to grow and you're trying to become a better person, the hard road is oftentimes the best road. So don't ever give up and keep pushing, because the consistency that you make every single day, day in, day out, is ultimately what's going to pay the price for the goals that you want to achieve.